everybody, and welcome back to another video. I wanted to do something a little bit different today. I did a video last week for my friends over at Mission Engineering showcasing their TT2 footswitch, and I was showing how that was a really good pair for the HX Stomp. Now, the video went over well. A lot of people commented very positively to it and enjoyed the content and the switch itself. But it also raised a few questions, and people were asking me about the external switch and expression pedal input on the Stomp, and things such as, what cables do I need? Can I use an expression pedal along with a switch? Can I use two expression pedals? So the funny thing is, as much as that video was designed to show off the TT2, it raised a lot of questions for folks. And as we all know, all of us use things like our HX Stomp in very different ways. Some folks may get this and have absolutely no need for an expression pedal ever, or others may have no need for external foot switches, but they need two expression pedals. I think the folks at Line 6 did an excellent job making this as flexible as possible while keeping it in this really tiny package. So the input that I'm talking about here, let's see if I can get up close enough to it without any glare, is this one here, right? Expression 1-2 FS, or footswitch 4-5. Okay, so this is a TRS style jack if need be, all right? So we'll put that down and we'll come back over to the Stomp in a minute and show how we can set things up. But first of all, what is possible and what isn't possible with that input on our Stomp? First thing, it's not an audio input. Okay, let's clear that up. It's not passing audio of any sort. What it's designed to do is to accept information from whatever cable it's getting it from to control parameters, turn blocks on and off, control parameters via expression pedal. I'm not going to get into the technicalities of how that information is transmitted over the cable, right, using control voltage. In the case of an expression pedal, Mission Engineering actually, if you go to their website, they've got a lot of great articles explaining the technical details about how a lot of this stuff works, and you can go there and read it. Great stuff. The guys there are very knowledgeable and very willing to share their information, which is awesome. So go check out missionengineering.com, and they've got some great articles up. But let's take a look at what we can and can't do with that basically control input on our HX Stomp. There's going to basically be two types of cables you're going to want to use. One of them is going to be something like this, okay? That's a typical TRS. It can be called a TRS cable, it can be called a balance cable, it can be called a stereo jack. If this was transferring audio, here's how it would work. And it's not transferring audio for our HX Stomp, but we have the tip, which is this part here. We have an insulator band, which is the black one here. We have the ring, which is the gold part here, and another insulator band before the sleeve, okay? So when we hear TRS, it stands for tip, ring, sleeve. A misconception sometimes is that the black part is carrying audio or a signal of some sort, and it's not, okay? It is simply an insulator band so that the tip and the ring, don't short out against each other. So what we have then in this case is the ability to send or receive two pieces of information, okay? In the case of an audio cable, let's say a set of headphones with a TRS jack on the end of it. The tip would be receiving one side of the audio, the ring would be receiving the other side, left versus right. So we've got two pieces of information traveling, right? Why a TRS jack for the HX Stomp? Well, the folks at Line 6 have built into the HX Stomp the ability to control two things with it. So we need to be able to pass two pieces of information, either using the tip or the ring, correct? So in the case of, let me see, I have them right here, a couple Mission Engineering expression pedals, we could use two of these and control whatever functions we assign them to in HX Stomp. So that's a great feature. We can utilize up to two expression pedals. Now, if we do utilize two expression pedals, obviously we say, well, how can we use this? Well, we can't, because this is only going to go from one expression pedal and in. So what we need is a different type of cable, which would look something like this. If you notice, TRS jack on one end, and then just normal TS jacks, which means tip, sleeve. Notice we're missing the ring part, okay? So the way that a cable like this is wired is that the TRS is split into two. So one of these cables is wired to the tip, one of these cables is wired to the ring. Now, if I was really smart, and nobody's ever accused me of that before, I would have these labeled, but this is just a cable I pulled out that I haven't used in years. But one of these is going to be for tip and one of them is going to be for ring. We would want to know that. We could hook it up to our HX Stomp and find that out pretty quickly. And then what we could do is we could take, you know, one of our expression pedals, a second of our expression pedals. Need more hands here. Boom, done. One of these will be assigned to the tip, one will be to the ring. We go within our HX Stomp, we assign which one we want to tip, which one we want to ring, and we're in business. And we're going to then be able to assign those to different parameters to control whatever we want within our HX Stomp. We could also use a Y cable like this with something like the TT2, right? We could go tip and ring, and again, go like this, and we're going to be able to assign each switch to whatever we need to. Now, the fine folks, as I mentioned in my other video from Mission, have also made it possible that we can just use one TRS cable and have all the information sent across to HX Stomp. So that's really a handy feature. And there's a little dip switch inside of this that sets it in either TS mode or TRS mode, as I mentioned in my TT2 video. So what are some other possibilities? Well, we could have one expression pedal, right, using our Y cable. Let's say we wanted one expression pedal, right? We put one of those, we put one of those into there. And we also want one foot switch. And we put one of those into there. Now we can go within HX Stomp and assign one foot switch and one expression pedal, right? Now, how about something like the expression pedal that Mission offers? And I can't remember, I'll put it up on the screen, the exact model number, but it's the line 6 expression pedal that Mission makes that has a toe switch built into it like a standard wah-wah pedal, so that when you click down on it, it has a switch built into it. If you notice, Mission uses the same chassis, I believe, for all of these. So there's one output on this and just a plug here where another output could live. And on their pedal with the switch, they would have another jack here. One of those would be assigned to the toe switch and one of them would be assigned to sending the expression pedal information, right? So in that case, what we would do is we would take our Y cable again, right? We'd have either the tip or the ring assigned to the expression pedal, and if that was a plug, we would plug it in there and assign that to turning the wah on and off. And then it would act just like a normal wah with the right assignments put into the HX Stomp, which we'll look at in just a second. So there you have it. Those are the cables you'll need to maximize your usage of that external foot switch / expression pedal switch on our HX Stomp. We'll either need a TRS cable or a TRS to dual TS Y cable adapter like so. All right, so hopefully that was clear. If you guys have any questions, please let me know and I'll get to them in the comments. Now let's go and see how we could set these various things up on our HX Stomp. All right, be right back. Okay, so here we are at our HX Stomp and let's take a look at how we could properly set up the various scenarios that I had just mentioned in the first part of the video. So first thing we have to do is we have to get into our little hamburger menu here, into our global settings. I know that some of this might be tough to read, but if I page over, I'll get to global settings. This says global settings right here. I press that. Now we're in global settings. Hopefully you guys can see clearer what's on the screen now. First thing we have to do is we have to go over to preferences. All right, sorry about the camera. We have to go over to preferences right here, and we're gonna page over to where it says expression / foot switch tip, expression / foot switch ring. The settings here are going to be very, very important to getting things working right. If we're not set up correctly here, we're gonna have a real hard time getting things to work. So let's go with scenario 1. We have 2 expression pedals and no external switches, no toe switches in those expression pedals. We would wanna set expression foot switch tip from our Y cable, and this would be set up with the Y cable. So we would have the TRS jack going into the HX Stomp, and we'd have the 2 TS jacks, one going to each expression pedal. We would set FS tip expression FS tip to expression 1 as it's set, and we would take the second one, excuse my hands, and set it to expression 2. Now we could go and make the proper assignments for what we want our expression pedal to control. Okay, so that's scenario 1. Let's go with scenario 2, where we have something like the TT2, where we want to use 2 external foot switches. Okay, we would go to expression foot switch tip, and we would set it to foot switch 4, and expression foot switch ring, and set it to foot switch 5. Simple enough. Again, that would be either with a Y cable with the TRS jack going into the HX Stomp's external foot switch input, and the 2 TS jacks going out to our foot switch. Or in case of the TT2, we could do it that way, or because of the well thought out design that the Mission Engineering folks have put into the TT2, we could just use 1 TRS cable to do the same thing, okay? What about a situation where we have a Mission Engineering SP1-L6H, which would be the Mission Engineering expression pedal with the built-in toe switch? Let's say somebody wanted to use that as, let's say, maybe just a normal wah pedal where we could press down hard on the toe switch, turn the wah on and off, and then control the wah with the expression pedal. Well, we would have to know if our tip portion of our Y cable, and in that case we would need the Y cable, right? We would have the TS jacks plugged into the Mission pedal and then the TRS jack plugged into the HX Stomp. So we would have to assign one of our, either our tip or our ring, depending on how we have it plugged in, to a foot switch, right? Then we would have to assign the ring to an expression pedal, or vice versa. If we're on expression pedal on the tip, then we would want to be on the ring foot switch, okay? And in this example here, if I was to go back to, let's see here, one of my presets, let's say I just put a wah pedal there, I can now go back to my controller assign, right? And tell the wah that the controller is going to be expression pedal 1, right? And then I could go back out of that, if that's how I had it set, or expression pedal 2, I can't remember now, and that's going to control the position, right? Now if I go back out of that and go to bypass assign, I can also tell that foot switch 5 is going to turn it on and off, right? So in that case now I could use the Mission Engineering SP1-L6H with the toe switch to both turn on and off my wah pedal and then control the sweep of the wah with the expression pedal. So just to sum up, we have a number of scenarios. We could use 2 expression pedals with no toe switches or with no external switches other than the 3 switches we have on HX Stomp. We could use 2 external foot switches such as the TT2 offers, and that could be used to turn blocks on and off, or the various functions that I described in the TT2 video. Or we could have a situation where we use 1 expression pedal and 1 foot switch for the possibility of using maybe just like a normal wah, like I said, with the Mission Engineering SP1-L6H. Or maybe we want to just use the expression pedal and another toe switch to assign it to however we want, okay? So I hope that was somewhat helpful for you guys, and I hope I was clear in explaining that. Go watch the TT2 video again too, because I do dive into some of the other functions that we can set up within our HX Stomp and some of the things we can control. But I just wanted to clear that up because I had quite a few questions concerning that, and I wanted to make sure people knew what is possible and what is not possible with that external foot switch slash expression pedal input on our HX Stomp, so that people know what they're getting when they get it. But I think the Line 6 folks have done a fine job in making it as flexible as possible, and I also think the Mission Engineering folks are doing a bang-up job providing us with really high-quality products to utilize all the functions that Line 6 have built into the HX Stomp. Hopefully you guys found that video helpful. If it's stuff you already knew, please ignore me. No. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. Again, I hope it helped. If so, share the video, like it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. And thank you as always for tuning in and for the kind words in advance, guys. We will talk soon. Ciao for now.